Hey there, and welcome to the Cinnamon Effect podcast. I'm your host, Kimberly, and I'm thrilled to have you with me on this vibrant journey of discovery and growth. This podcast is your go-to space for embracing intention, where you'll find clarity on your unique path, deepen those meaningful connections, and unleash your creativity like never before. We'll explore how to build unshakable confidence and celebrate the beauty of gratitude, all while savoring the calm that consistency brings to our lives. Thank you for being with me. Let's sprinkle a little cinnamon into your day and make life sweeter, healthier, and more fulfilling. Hey guys, Kimberly Hand solo on the mic today. I'm going to recap the whole experience of the Broadway Ballroom battle that I was just in at the Maltz Jupiter Theatre. I told you guys about the preparation for this competition, and now I'm going to recap what actually happened. We raised a lot of money for the Goldner Conservatory for the kids, so getting kids involved in the arts there at the Maltz Jupiter Theatre. Thousands of dollars. It was incredible. I think almost $200,000. It might have been even more than that after it was all said and done. But there were 12 participants in this battle and from all walks of life, all around Palm Beach County. And it was so much fun connecting with everyone that was involved in it. And we were all paired up with professional partners. Mine was Serge Aliev. He's the owner of Fred Astaire. He's owned that Fred Astaire here in Jupiter forever. He was the most incredible partner I could have asked for sure. And I wanted to tell you about it because, I said yes 6 months prior to the actual performance. And so saying yes to something 6 months before when something is actually going to take place, it's like, are you going to be excited to do it? Are you going to wish it's over? Like, what are your feelings going to be like? And I did feel really good going into it because I felt like I had really prepared. And, being a procrastinator like I've been my whole entire life, sometimes I'm not always the most prepared. And I really feel good going into something when I feel like I've given it my all and I have prepared to like the maximum, right? So 2 weeks prior, the nerves are starting to build a little bit. Even though I'm excited and it's something I want to do, I was still nervous. Even though I've performed before and I've been on stages, I was definitely still nervous. I have this element of stage fright and it kind of just comes at me in waves, before doing something like this. So the nerves started to build, a couple weeks prior. And then the week leading up, I'm trying to relax and just go about my daily business. And it was Easter. So, there's Easter chocolate and there's candy and everything. And I'm trying to avoid that. I want to look the best in my costume as I possibly can, but I'm kind of nervous eating because this anticipation is like building on this competition. So I ate way too much Easter candy. And then on that Monday, the Easter Monday where we had off, my son was off from school, me and a bunch of mom friends took our boys to the beach. And we were having like the best day. I don't know, it felt like maybe the first day from, winter, Florida winter, but still it's a little chilly to go to the beach. It can be windy and you don't feel like going to the beach. And it was like the first beach day that we had all gone out and gone to the beach. So our kids were having so much fun. They were playing, like it was like hours and hours of playtime. Like we're feeling so good. The kids aren't on the screens, that's the main goal always. So I was there, I had a big hat on, I had a shirt, I was trying to cover up, and I decided I wanted to get a little bit of sun. And so I took the shirt off and, kind of let my guard down, and I was trying to get some sun on my stomach and on my legs, and I ended up getting like the worst sunburn on my stomach. I feel like the stomach area is an area that doesn't really tan very well on me. And so I was just trying to get like a little bit of color. I ended up getting fried. And I'm like, how is it I'm a almost 46-year-old woman and I just got like the worst sunburn I've ever had at the beach? So the competition is that Friday. And I quickly realized that I am really burnt, okay? And this is not going to be good for me because I'm in a costume, I'm being kind of lifted and, the dancing, like that does not feel good on a sunburn. You're getting hot, you're getting sweaty, the whole thing. So I kind of start to panic about this because my stomach was so burnt. I was actually like a little bit swollen. I know that sounds crazy. I can't even believe it happened to me, but it did happen to me. I had a couple massages scheduled because here, I'm working these muscles and I'm trying to stay like as loose and flexible as possible for this competition. And so I had massages booked. It was like I just completely wrecked my life going into this competition. My son felt like he was getting itchy like sea lice. So he had the sun shirt on and we took the sun shirt off. We rinsed him off at the beach because I didn't want him to get sea lice and then never put the sun shirt back on. So he got a little sunburn too. I know, I felt like the worst mom ever. And I wasn't the only one. There were a couple other moms that were like, yeah, I got burnt too. Like, what were we doing? We were just soaking up the day and having so much fun. But now I'm starting to spiral a little bit because I think that this is going to affect my performance. I'm also not like feeling my best because I've got this sunburn. And I decide like I'm just putting like aloe vera, doing all the like home remedies you can do for a sunburn. So Monday is that Easter Monday where I got sunburned. The very next day was when we had our dress rehearsal. And so I was even struggling putting the costume on. I was so burnt. So the morning of the competition, which was Friday, April 10th, I wake up and another whammy hits me. I've got my period. Thank you so much for this beautiful gift on the morning of this dance competition where I'm in like, a little costume and I'm wanting to feel my best. Well, that was not helping the situation at all. So just some things I had to overcome physically that, as much preparation and thought and practice you can put into something, there's always like these little curveballs that can come at you. And the lesson to me was, you know what, you can overthink and plan and do all these things, but you really still have to roll with the punches. And if that's prohibiting you from doing something, then you need to put that out of your mind because those little things are always going to happen. And yes, I could have prevented the sunburn, but I just was like loving the day and loving life and being outside and being at the beach. And I just completely wasn't thinking straight. And so those little things happen. So get the period the morning of and got to roll with it. Okay. Feeling a little bloated, but what are you going to do? Like, that's it. So I did have these anti-bloat, like they're like these herbal things by Array is the company, ARRAE. And so I took those. That seemed to help a little bit. Then to get hair and makeup done, we had to be there early. So I had to be there at like noon for a 7:30 performance that day. So I felt like so glamorous because they were doing my makeup and the fake eyelashes, and the stage makeup is much heavier than like regular makeup that you would just wear during the day. So there were a lot of layers of makeup and you put the shimmer on your body so your body looks good. Like there's all kinds of tricks of the trade that we were doing. And I got my hair done and just feeling really, really glamorous and ready for the evening. Now, I was number 12 in the performance, which was the very last number to go. So that's kind of like, that's a fun position to be in because you're closing the show, but it's also, you're getting more and more nervous because you're seeing everybody else. They're coming backstage and they're like, oh, phew, I'm done. And you still have this anticipation of going out on stage. And we were being judged. This was a whole element of the competition that like I didn't really think about, is that there were 3 amazing judges that judged us, from a professional ballroom dancer to Stephen Karras, who was a dancer with the New York City Ballet, but also an incredible dance photographer, Ro Green, who has a background in the arts. And so we got judged by them. And I don't know why, like I just didn't think about that aspect of the competition. When you think like you're nervous about certain things and then it's like, oh, I completely forgot about that portion of it. And I had so many friends and family and people in the audience that I was so thankful that they were there to support me and cheer me on. And they were, obviously supporting the mission of the Goldner Conservatory. So it was so much fun for everyone to be there. But I do this little part of the dance where my leg comes out onto the stage first as kind of like a little tease. And then I step out onto the stage. And as soon as I heard everyone cheering, I was just like, oh my God, this is where I'm like meant to be. I love to perform. I love to dance. And so stepping out there was just like so energizing. All the nerves left. I felt really in control. I felt prepared. I felt like the number was going to go perfectly well. And it did. I think no mistakes, nothing. There were no trip ups. And it's funny, before I took the stage, I was like thinking about, what if the strap on my dress broke? Or what if the strap on my shoe broke? Because those would just be the two most catastrophic things that could happen, I think, on the stage. So and I don't know why I do that. I started to spiral a little bit, what if that happened, and I just had to put it out of my mind. So I do the performance. We come right back out on the stage, and actually the judges, when they judged us, Stephen Karras was my judge, and he said, has anyone ever told you look like Reese Witherspoon? Which I used to hear that a lot as a blonde when I had blonde hair, and I don't hear it quite as much anymore. So it was really funny that he said that, because that was like a blast from my past a little bit. And so I go do my number, I go off stage, and then we all come back on. And part of the competition was being judged on the actual ballroom dancing. And then part of it was the fundraising aspect. And then the third part was the audience favorite. So everyone got a chance to vote that night once they saw all the performances for the one that they liked the best. Then there's 10 minutes between going back out on stage so everyone can see your number again and your name, and then the judges voting, and then we come back out to hear the results. And the studio, Fred Astaire, gave us superlative awards, and everyone got one. So it was most charismatic or most dramatic. And mine was most glamorous, which I loved because I was Moulin Rouge, and I did have this very glamorous costume. Like I said, the hair and the makeup, I felt very glamorous, which was cool. So we got those first. And then Virginia from the radio station, she announced the top ballroom star. And I heard my name, and I was just I don't know, it was incredible. But it was this affirming moment of, I'm kind of in the right place. I'm in the right place. I'm with the right people. I'm on stage doing something that I love. And so that felt really, really special to me. And then they announced the audience favorite, and it was my name again. And so that one felt, I think I blacked out, because someone said, oh, you didn't look that surprised. And I said, I feel like I was so nervous, and I just blacked out getting that trophy. I got 3 trophies, these giant, real deal trophies. I've never had a trophy like that in my entire life. And so that was so much fun. And my son, when I saw him after, he was like, Mom, little boys, little kids with trophies. He was like, Mom, that trophy is incredible. He was holding them for me. And, it was so, so special. And seeing all my friends and everybody in my family when I came out after having won was super, super special to me. And, I'm so happy that I said yes. I think I said yes without really thinking it through, and then probably started overthinking, right after that. But I'm so grateful that I said yes to this opportunity. It opened up a whole new world to me. Even though I've been in and out of dance my entire life, the ballroom scene is a very vibrant scene, and there's opportunities for competitions, further competitions. There's opportunity to grow as a dancer, and that's something that I'm really interested in doing and learning. Like I said, this whole new dance language of ballroom, because it's so different than anything I've ever done. So opening myself up to this brand new opportunity and all the people that I've met, it just feels so expansive to me. And I'm just so grateful for that. And I want you to think about the whole purpose, and even talking about this experience is, What would you say yes to? What could you say yes to that would open up a whole new world for you? There's got to be something that you've maybe never thought of, or maybe you have thought of it. And what would it be like if you did that? And so I just encourage you to get out there and say yes to something and think about the possibility of what that could open up for you. And I think that comes a lot of times with a hobby, like something new. It doesn't have to be a job. Maybe it is a job. Maybe it is a job. Maybe it is a relationship. Maybe it's traveling to a different place. Like, just look at everything as this expansive opportunity to learn something new, meet somebody new, do something new, and get out there and open up a new world for yourself. And I see a lot of women and a lot of women tell me that I think maybe they just are feeling like they need an outlet and they don't have one. And so when you don't have an outlet and you don't have a hobby and you don't have something that brings you joy, I think you can fixate on different things in your life that maybe aren't going so well, and you want to like blow up your life in a way. You need a place to like funnel this energy. And sometimes it can be very destructive. But if you have this positive thing, this positive avenue or opportunity that you can funnel some of this energy into and, expand your world and expand your mind in that way, it's just so much more of a healthy way to handle life and to handle the things that come at you. Bad things are going to happen all the time. Good things are going to happen all the time. And it's how you choose to deal with it. And if you have something for yourself outside of everything else that you can focus that energy into, it's going to create a healthier way of living and of doing things. I really want to stress that. I think that, and I'm only saying that because I've seen this firsthand with myself. I could really fixate on my marriage and pick it apart and pick him apart and pick on him because he's doing these things that bother me. But I find that when Kimberly Hand is having a hobby and happy with where I'm spending some energy, putting some energy towards something outside of my marriage, my son, what I'm choosing to do as a career, like when I can have just little something for myself, I'm so much happier in my life. And I feel like I'm more resilient when stressful things happen because I've got this little thing over here that's bringing me so much joy. So I want to know, I'm going to just leave you with the question, what could you say yes to that would open up a whole new world for you? Think about that. That's what I want to leave you with today. Thank you for listening to this episode, and I will see you next time. Thanks for tuning into this episode of The Cinnamon Effect. If you enjoyed our time together, don't forget to hit that follow button on your podcast app and sprinkle a little love by leaving us a 5-star rating and a quick review. Your support means the world to me. For even more goodness, check out the show notes where you'll find links to some of my favorite products. And don't forget to visit thecinnamoneffect.com to connect with me directly or to grab your TCE gratitude journal, your next step towards a more grateful life. I can't wait to spice things up with you again next time. Stay vibrant, stay inspired, and remember to add a little cinnamon to your life every day.